part of the demo, but we could see what's going on. These were some mustards that we did harvest some of them, and they never did much more new growth back out over the winter. But as soon as we get a couple warm days, those things will take off crazy.
Oh, yeah.
But they are still alive. They are still alive. They're still growing. And so I'm glad we got to make it out here. And I will get me a little shovel. I am going to have me some. I don't know if I maple glaze them, but I'll be back with you guys. Look at that one there, man. That's pretty. That one there. Look at that.
Oh, those are great. Those are wonderful. Isn't that incredible?
Yes.
I mean, it's cold and snow, and you still got things growing with just straw, and it looks like it's just a sheet of plastic and a raised bed. That's amazing.
It really is.
Yes. And so
it's February, you know.
I'm going to get me a broom, a shovel, and I'm going to get me a couple out here, and then I'm going to head back to the house, and I'll see you guys in a minute.
That sounds good. Thanks, Minister Aaron. Thanks for showing us the farm at 1269. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, so that is the reason why we are here. That was Minister Aaron Hopkins showing us the farm as it is now in the winter. So even in the winter, we still have things growing, and we're really excited for this coming year. There is a high tunnel that was built in Johnstown that's going to have all kinds of things that will be able to grow all season long. And there's also a smaller high tunnel at 1204. There's a smaller greenhouse. So a lot of exciting things planned for this year with the garden. But today we're just using turnips, and we're making a simple maple glazed turnip. So if you're cooking with me, go ahead and start a pot of water boiling, about a cup of water. You don't need a ton of it. Go ahead and get it started. While we're hanging out here. I'm using a hot plate today. All right, so I'm gonna get my water boiling. And other things that you will need, of course, your turnips. The recipe said 2, I bought 4. I don't know, I just thought I wanted more, so we're gonna make 4. We have our garlic. Again, I'm using real bulb garlic. If you have the stuff in the jar, like the minced in the jar, that's totally fine. You could probably even use garlic powder in this recipe. I like the flavor of fresh garlic, but it's not like the be all end all if you don't have fresh garlic. I have maple syrup. And Mari asked a question about maple syrup, like quality of maple syrup. So this one, maple syrup in general that you find in the store, this one doesn't say what grade it is, but in general, the stuff in the store is going to be grade A. Grade B is actually better for cooking. Grade B is a really strong flavor, and if you can get it, it's sometimes cheaper. So like a lot of like bigger kitchens use grade B for flavor and cooking, but I don't have any grade B. I just get it from the regular store, and I get the grade A, and but yeah, this is actually a good recipe because it is maple syrup season too. With the warm up we're having this week, we'll probably have the trees will probably start producing sap. So that's a fun thing to do if you can get away. Get up there to, what is it, Malabar Farm that does the maple sugaring? Does anybody? Yeah. It's been forever since I was a kid, since I've been up there. All right, we also have, you'll need a skillet. I am using my iron skillet, and I will kind of explain why I'm doing that later. So if you have an iron skillet, this is the best kind, I think, for this kind of recipe, but any old skillet will do. You also need olive oil or any kind of cooking oil. We're just going to use a little bit, so it's not super crucial what kind you're using. And then lastly, the recipe didn't say this, but I got a little salt and pepper just in case I taste it and I feel like it needs it. I thought it was interesting it didn't use any salt. I mean, that's good. We don't want to have too much salt in our diet. It helps lower blood pressure to have less salt. But, you know, sometimes our tastes, a little salt goes a long way. So we'll just keep it handy in case we decide we want it. All right, I'll move my skillet and we will start chopping these turnips. So the recipe says that you want to, hold on, let me turn down my light a little glary in it. How's that? Oh, much better. All right, so the recipe says that we want to peel them. So sometimes I peel turnips and sometimes I don't. It just depends on how big they are and how thick the skin is. I was listening to a really good podcast, a chef, and he said, peel or not to peel, taste the peel, decide if you like it, keep it or don't. I thought that was really smart. So we're going to do that. So I'm just going to hack off a little piece here and taste it. Pretty bitter. I don't like that. These turnips in particular, I don't love. So I'm going to get a peeler and we're going to peel these. How are yours, Mari? What do you think?
You know what's strange is the first one I tasted very mild. The second one is bitter.
Yeah, that's strange.
So I'm going to keep one and peel the other. Should
Yeah.
I use one of these?
Yeah, that's what I'm going to go grab. So I was a kid peeling potatoes. They always say to peel away from you, but I have trouble doing that. So I just kind of peel it. I kind of peel it towards my thumb, which results in me cutting my thumb a lot. But that just makes sense to me. Guess you could kind of peel away. You could kind of do a thing like that. I'm just going to peel these up. So speaking of potatoes, it's kind of interesting. You know, turnips are root vegetables. And last month, we did potatoes. So turnips are starchy, but they're not as starchy as a potato. But they can be used in a lot of recipes that use potatoes. So it's kind of a nice substitute, especially if you have diabetes or just high blood sugar concerns. You can substitute like half turnip and half potato in a potato recipe, and it's good. They won't be as creamy or thick. You know, potatoes are so starchy. But they will kind of work. I'm also going to chop off the little rooty end here, the little tail. Kind of cute. Could get the other one too. Another thing that's really neat about turnips compared to potatoes is turnips are super high in a nutrient called manganese. Not magnesium, but manganese. So manganese is a trace mineral. And in general, it's not something we really worry about on a daily basis. But what I thought was interesting is they say that manganese is really important for carbohydrate metabolism. So how well your body uses glucose, blood sugar, whether or not you have problems with your blood sugar, might be helped by eating foods rich in manganese. So this might be a really powerful little root vegetable if you're struggling with blood sugar. Anybody here in the call made turnips before?
I've made them in a root vegetable ensemble.
Like roasted?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Usually how I make them too.
I've never made them. I'm going to have to try this recipe.
Yeah. Turnips, rutabagas, go ahead.
Are they related to I'm sorry. Never mind.
Like a rutabaga, that's a similar.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Like, what other vegetables? Yeah.
Yeah. So related to like a rutabaga, they're not in the same family as like a radish though. Radish is like a brassica, like a cruciferous, like cabbage but they have kind of that, I don't know, maybe they are in that same family. They have that same bitey, spicy.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm wrong on that. Maybe they are in the same family as like a radish or a horseradish or wasabi, mustard. Yeah, mustard greens, probably. All right, I'm almost done peeling this guy. All right, so we've cut off the little tails. And I'm gonna go ahead and cut off this top end as well, where the stem end. Okay, so now I have 4 peeled turnips, and we're gonna cut them into just little cubes. So slice it in half, place the half cut side down, maybe make like 2 cuts on the top, whoops, turn it around, a couple more cuts. So I'm just ending up with cubes about yay big. And I'm just gonna put them right in my pot of simmering water. It's just hanging out right next to me. One thing, I am not very picky about my chopping. So, I am a dietitian, not a chef. And a lot of chefs will say, oh, you got to chop it perfect. You got to get perfect little cubes and they all got to be the same size cube. And when I'm cooking at home, I just chop it. I don't worry too much about that. But I'd love to learn.
We'll probably all taste the same, Julie, anyway, so.
Right? That's what I think. They taste the same. Just cut them up. So you also notice as you're cutting it, they have that really satisfying crunch like an apple. And turnips and apples are also really good pairings. If you were going to do a roast or a stew, throw in a couple of fall apples with your turnips. Oh my God, it's delicious. It's that sweetness. Again, just like we're doing the maple syrup, we can use apple to sweeten it with turnips. And they're similar. They have fiber, just like apples do, soluble and insoluble. So very good for digestion, very good for heart health, reducing your risk of high cholesterol, high blood pressure. Very nutritious little roots. All of them are chopped. While those are simmering, does anyone have any questions? Nope, none yet. That's fine. Okay, well, I can tell you some more stuff. So you will notice when Minister Aaron showed his turnips that the greens were attached, right? So this is the root and the greens come with the turnip. So the greens are also super nutritious. And it's a shame that often we get them in the store and they don't include the greens. So that's a great reason to get something like turnips from a local farmer's market, because you'll get both of those things. That stretches your food budget a lot, because now you have 2 vegetables you can make. And the greens are so nutritious. They're super high in calcium, in iron. They're also really high in folate, both the root and the leaf. So folate is a nutrient that's essential for all of us, but especially for young women who are trying to have a child. Really important for preventing birth defects.
Really?
Yeah, it's actually kind of a problem. We fortify a lot of our food in this country with folate to prevent birth defects. And a prenatal vitamin will have a lot of folate. Yeah, it's one of those nutrients that you don't think about much.
Julie, can you mash a turnip like you would a potato, or?
You totally can. If you were going to do that, though, I would say like mash it and then put it through like a colander, because it's kind of watery. So you will want to, it'll be very, very wet when it's mashed. You'll want to kind of strain it out and kind of dry it. But yeah, that's a great way to eat them. It makes me wonder. I cooked a different root vegetable the other day. We'll have to do another demo on this. I cooked yucca, which is a sort of a South American native fruit. And I whipped it in a mixer, like with olive oil and salt, and it was really, really good. And I bet you could do that with turnips too. I bet you could put them in like if you have like a stand mixer, and just let them go. That'd be awesome. Mara, your turnips simmering in the water?
Yes. Should I have my lid on or lid off?
My lid is off. Yep, it's off. You just kind of want to get them softened. It said I think 10 minutes. Oh, 5 to 7 minutes. Yeah. So just a little bit of time. Letting them cook. Hey, Minister Aaron's back. Welcome back.
Hello, hello. We done cooking already?
Yeah, we're just simmering. We were talking about nutrition and letting those turnips simmer.
Yeah, I was listening as I was walking back. I heard you talking about manganese. Manganese and not magnesium, but manganese.
Yes.
And not too much salt, guys. I heard that also. I was listening. Yeah. And but yeah, I'll have to catch the rest later. But man, I got me five nice turnips out of it. I think those are definitely gonna be on the dinner plate tonight.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do with the greens?
Well, they seem pretty frostburnt, and so I'll end up composting those. We do have composters at we have one here in our backyard, and it's those double barrel composters that we've been composting. I haven't got any product out of them yet, but I will. We don't waste anything. And so if it would have been good greens, I would have, I've been keeping my eye on you, and we would have got a recipe to kind of stir fry them, or I mean, stir with olive oil or something. And that's what we've learned to do with kale. The kale, we've been taking like olive oil and a little bit of garlic and onion and kind of sauteing them. And I imagine those greens, or I hear a lot of people like them in salads. Use the turnip greens as long as mixed in with their other leafy greens. But man, those turnips, I love turnips and those type of root crops. And so I know that in root crops, rutabagas they're one of my favorites. And they're very similar to turnips. And I saw that one of our partner farms and Franklinton Farms actually had it on their CSA list. So we'll have to, connect with them, because I would love to learn how to grow those successfully. I've grown some of those in the garden or in the farm here, and they've come out looking similar to a yam. They're really narrow and long.
Oh, wow.
But they're not like the rutabagas that you would find in the grocery store that looks like a little cannonball. And that's what I like. Those are delicious. And yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah, we are going to try them though. And so I didn't realize as much as I've grown up in my culture with turnip greens, I didn't realize turnip bottoms were on the bottom of the turnip plant.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Sure, yeah.
I didn't know that, I didn't know, I didn't get that. And, but we did find out that there are some varieties of turnip greens that don't generate a turnip bottom.
Oh, okay.
And,
there you go.
Yeah. Yep. And so, but,
oh, you reminded me, Mr. Aaron, though, you're talking about garlic. We didn't chop our garlic yet. We're going to do that. Mari and anyone else cooking along home, get your garlic going.
Mm-hmm.
So it says 4 garlic cloves. It's a lot. Depends on how big they are, and depends how much you like garlic. This will be quite garlicky, depending on the size. Mine are big, so I might do like 3.
That sounds good to me.
Yeah. Nancy's got those Italian roots. She's like,
Oh yeah, never have too much garlic.
Uh-huh.
All right, so again, to chop our fresh garlic, we just take a knife, I put my hand on the flat blade of the knife, I push down, I hear it crunch, it's very satisfying. We've had a long day to crunch the garlic. And just peel the peel off, and peel comes right off. And we're gonna mince it. So getting it on our cutting board. To mince it, I take the knife in my right hand, my left hand goes on the top of the blade, and I just kind of do like a chopper seesaw motion. And then every now and then kind of putting it all back into place. And then kind of chopper, seesaw it, back and forth. Back it up, chop it, and just keep doing that till it's as fine as you want it.
Miss Mari, how are you today? It's good to have you cooking with us again. Oh yeah, I see hers simmering over there on the stove.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, mine are going. They smell good.
I was going to ask, does it have an aroma to it? You know,
it's very fresh. It's like it's just it's really refreshing almost, I would say. It's nice. They do smell nice. Yeah, they don't smell bitter or stinky or. All right, I feel like that's pretty good. Let's see that. Can you see that? The light is real funny. It's getting dark in here.
Yeah.
Beams from, there we go.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah.
So that's about how fine it is. Yours too, Mari? About like that? Awesome, awesome. Okay, so we're gonna set that aside. I'm gonna give these turnips a poke and see if they're done. If I can stick a fork or a vegetable peeler through it, then they're done. And I got one. So I think they're done. I think they're soft enough. So now I'm going to drain them. And then we're gonna switch to our skillet. So I'm just gonna drain them in a colander over the sink. Grab my skillet, stick it on the heat, and turnips go in the skillet. So this method of cooking, it's basically a braise, but it's like a reverse braise. So traditionally a braise would be to sear something in a hot skillet first with a little bit of oil, and then you add water. But we're doing it opposite. We boiled them first, and now we're adding them to a hot skillet to get like a glaze. So it's a nice technique. You know, you could use this cooking technique for a lot of different vegetables. Carrots would be really good this way, like a little honey and garlic on a carrot, or oh, I don't know. That's what comes to mind. Definitely is like carrots. All right, so those are in our hot skillet, and now we're going to add 1 tablespoon of oil and 1 tablespoon of maple syrup. Do the oil before you do the maple syrup. Then the maple syrup will slide right out of your tablespoon. Yeah. So, all right, there's my olive oil. Drizzle it on. Maple.
Julie, do you always cook with cast iron?
I like to. Yeah, thank you. I was going to talk about the cast iron. All right, so that is all in. The garlic goes in. We'll give it a stir. And then there's a lot of liquid in those turnips. So the idea here is we're going to let this just sit once you've stirred it up. And then the oil and maple will make like a glaze, and it'll start to caramelize. And it should start to smell really good and get kind of browned, a little bit browned on the turnips, and that's okay. They're browned a little, that makes them good. So yeah, cast iron. I am, if you can, I like to be, careful with my cookware. There's a lot of options out there, but the cookware you use to cook in every single day, like if it has a coating, like a nonstick coating, like eventually that does start to come away, right, in your food. So I really like to use materials that are not reactive and can't break down like that. So like a cast iron or a stainless steel, these are great things. We did the microwave cooking demo. I like to use glass and ceramic. Try to avoid the plastics. You know, in general, too much exposure to plastic can raise our risk for certain cancers. It can be really difficult for people that have autoimmune conditions, like arthritis or thyroid conditions that can aggravate some of those inflammatory conditions. So it's great to have this kind of cookware, but you know, not everyone can, and it doesn't mean that you shouldn't use what you have. You know, for decades, I didn't grow up with this kind of stuff. Just in my own, you know, nutrition life and practice, I've slowly been accumulating better skillets and different things. But every now and then you can find them at garage sales and like antique sales. And that's always a good find. Snatch them up.
Yeah. You're right in that, Miss Julie. My wife came home. She actually manages in a thrift store, and there was one. What is that? The bigger one, is that a 9-inch? The 9-inch cast. The larger one came through at a very reasonable price, and man, it's nice.
Yeah, they last forever.
Mm-hmm.
And they double as a weapon in case you need it. Really
Oh,
heavy. Good workout. Just practice swinging your skillet.
Julia, I was told by a physician once that cast iron actually adds iron. Like I had a very high hemoglobin, you know.
Yeah,
They said that you actually do get iron from the cast iron skillet.
you do. Yeah, it's one of the greatest ways to get more iron in your daily diet. So for people that struggle with anemia, a cast iron pan is amazing. They also have, you can order little like pieces of cast iron, and you can throw them into like a cooking pot, like a pot of pasta or a soup. And that it's the same idea. You're not cooking with a full iron pan, but the iron is infusing into whatever you're cooking. Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
Have we added the garlic already?
Yes. Go ahead and add your
Okay.
garlic. Yep. Yeah, no worries. So now I see why they said to do 2 turnips, because I put 4 in and my pan is a little crowded. Let me see if I can show you. So I regret that now. I would get a better glaze. See how crowded my pan is? It's pretty inch to inch. I would get a much quicker glaze if they were less turnips in that pan. But whatever. It's too late now. I'm committed.
oh man, those look wonderful. Those look wonderful, Miss Julie.
They smell really good.
Yeah.
Other thing that's really cool about turnips is that they are really high in vitamin C. And you'd never think that. When we think of this time of year, colds and flus, and you want oranges, we think oranges. But turnips, super good in vitamin C. I think it's interesting that with this time of year when we need a little immune boost, that something like a turnip is still alive and growing and able to be harvested and eaten. That's kind of cool, isn't it? Any other questions from anybody else? Questions about turnips or nutrition in general? You can always take other questions.
And so, Miss Julie, even in your recipe for the turnips, I didn't get to look at the recipe prior. And when you started your skillet with the olive oil and the garlic, did you put any liquid in there, or
Sorry. Yeah, we actually boiled them. We boiled them first for about 5 minutes.
Right. That's right.
Now just glazing them, finishing them in the skillet.
And so, is liquid coming out of them as you glaze them?
A little, yeah, a little. It's better now. They're drying out.
And you just have your fire on medium while you're glazing them?
Yeah, medium high.
Mm-hmm.
Another flaw of mine is I like cooking on really high heat.
Well, I was just wondering how the maple syrup, because when I saw that it was glazing, maple glaze, I was wondering how that would do that in the skillet. Would it start sticking, start caramelizing or, sticking to the pan or anything?
It probably will. If I cook them long enough, I am sure I could get it to be really sticky, and you probably could burn them. But as it is, like mine are so, I think the oil is helping, first of all, but I think, yeah, there's just so much moisture coming from the turnip that I don't see any harm of it burning at this point.
Uh-huh.
But I mean, you cook anything long enough and you'll get it. You'll get there.
Well, no, I think that's good that you've had it on the fire as long as you've had, and it's not, it's not doing that bubbling and sticking and caramelizing, I'd have it all messed up by now, but yeah, that's great.
Nah,
And so I didn't see the maple syrup that you had. Was it I know that maple syrup can usually be a lighter consistency than some of the other syrups.
yeah. Yeah, it was just an Ohio maple syrup that I picked up at the local grocery. We were talking about that earlier. Like, if you can find it, I've never found it, but they say grade B maple syrup is darker and stronger flavored and really good for cooking. It's something you probably have to order large quantities of. I know like larger kitchens get it, but I just get the pancake stuff from the store. If you didn't have maple, you could use honey. I don't know. Get creative. Sorghum. Sorghum syrup would be really good.
Yeah. Now sorghum comes from someplace. Maple comes from maple trees, but sorghum, is that come from that's cooked down sugar cane? Is that what that is?
Sorghum is actually a grain.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Sorghum is a grain. You can buy sorghum grains whole and you can eat them. You can cook them like rice or barley. It's delicious. So sorghum is becoming more popular since so many people are going gluten-free. It's a gluten-free grain. And you can buy sorghum and eat it, yeah, just like rice or barley.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I mean sorghum. And so I think that's sorghum molasses. Does sorghum also molasses? Yeah.
Molasses, right.
And,
so the grains just cook down enough that it's turned into sugar.
Wow. Yeah. And that's what my dad, he's from Oklahoma, Kansas area. And that's what he always would put on his pancakes and biscuits was sorghum molasses.
Yeah.
And I know it's a whole lot heavier than maple syrup is. But it's delicious, very flavorful.
It is. And both molasses and sorghum syrup are really high in iron. So that's another great way to get some iron into your diet.
Okay. Well, thank you for that. And I mean, but so far as sugars for like someone that had diabetes, is that still something that they should kind of stray away from, or all of the above?
That is an awesome question. Okay, so if you have diabetes, sugar is sugar is sugar, right? There's no benefit to eating white sugar over honey, over molasses, over maple. The same amount will pretty much raise your blood sugar the same amount. But I like to recommend to my clients to try to use things like molasses and maple because it has flavor. So like you can use a little less. I feel like you get a lot more bang for your buck with like maple syrup because it has so much flavor versus like white sugar, which is just sweetness. Bleh. I think it's good if you're if you're trying to reduce the amount of sugar you're eating, to go for flavor, go for like brown sugar, go for molasses, like even adding like sweeter spices like cinnamon, nutmeg can really kind of give you that sense of sweetness without actually adding sugar.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I see Christine has a question. She wants to know where she can find the recipe. So the recipe will be posted on our website, southsidefamilyfarms.com. Maybe Nancy could, or Bob would type in the chat box for me the website. People can go. So we'll be posting the website on the website and posting the video so you can follow along later. And I don't know, I'm thinking mine are done. What do you think, Mari? Are yours done?
Well, I'm not sure. I would say that, let me see what yours look like.
They're not,
Okay.
they're not very brown. They're just.
Okay. I was thinking that I was needing them to be more brown.
Hey, let me help y'all out. Let me help you out. Oh boy, let me check that out for you.
I think we just, Julie, we just need to taste. We just need to taste and see how it is.
Oh boy, yeah.
These are super good. Oh yeah, no, they're nice. The sweetness really complements the bitterness of the turnip. There's not much bitterness anyway, but it's just a hint of sweetness. It's not like super, super mapley sweet. I like the garlic on it. Yeah, I think if I was to do them again, I would not crowd my pan and get more of a glaze on them. Let's see, I'm bringing it over. There they are. They're just white.
I wish I were there, Julie.
It smells good in my kitchen. Oh, yep. Yeah, yours looks just like mine do. Nice chop on
Oh,
the.
look at that.
Oh yeah. Good job, Miss Mari.
Thanks. They're very subtle.
Uh-huh.
They're very good. And I wouldn't say, like, I think I was expecting them to be a lot more sweet, but they're very, very good.
Yeah, they are. They're really good. Oh, you can also find the recipe. Originally, I got the recipe from a site called Old Ways, and they have a wonderful section on foods of African heritage. So African heritage diaspora. So looking at, you know, Africa itself, as well as the American South, Brazil, South America, the Caribbean, all parts of the world. And these are from a kitchen in Atlanta. They took the recipe from a chef.
And that and so at the Southside Family Farms this year we are going to have, I think they call those purple top. I think we're going to have the purple top variety of turnips, and then there's also an all white one. I think it's called Hirachi or Hibachi. They're a smaller one, and so I'm really interested to see the difference in taste of them. But we will have those early season, you know, as a cold crop, you know, a cold weather crop. And so we're looking at having those.
That is perfect. Before you got on, Minister Aaron, we were talking about those Hockey turnips. They're my favorite. So I'm going to be knocking at your door for those. Those are my favorite.
Yeah. And so we're ready to, you know, we've already got things growing as seedlings. We will probably be, we'll be updating some stuff on our social media page. We're going to actually put collard greens out under row covers. We're going to get better structures on them, but we do have some in the same in 1269 and also in the high tunnel. We've got some seedlings that we are ready to start getting out. We've got like butter crunch lettuce, and there's another lettuce. We've got some romaine, and there was a new lettuce. It's a new cultivar that Johnny Seed was really marketing, and I heard it's good. The name is getting away from me, but so yeah, we're going to start getting things in the high tunnel and start. Those won't necessarily be for CSA boxes. Those will be, we're going to make sure all our ISA families and those that are participants in Southside Family Farm, those will be for us, you know, and for our friends. And so we'll have to make sure that you guys get some of those when we start harvesting. We'll have to look you up, and even Miss Mari and to some of our other guests that are on there. just know that we appreciate your participation in participating in the videos. And so we will have some complimentary things that we can reach out just to keep your taste buds going in the right direction.
Are
Yeah.
CSA boxes, are they for pickup or delivery when the season is right?
I think we'll be doing most, Ms. Mari. We are going to have a component where we would be doing both. We know that we've got some seniors in the community that are without transportation, and it would be more convenient that we have one of our youngsters that helps us out on the farm. They can run them up there to the door, and we would just call ahead and let you know we're coming.
Nice.
And so we'll have that information, all those kind of things on our website coming soon.
Okay,
Mhm.
thank you.
Great info. Yeah, so, please, everyone, check out southsidefamilyfarms.com. If you enjoyed this demo, two things. We are doing these monthly. So the next one will be the fourth Monday of March. It'll be a different person. Dietitian Michelle Hoffman will be presenting us some recipes and tips for families, especially with young children. So that'll be a really fun one. Michelle is hilarious. You don't want to miss it.
Okay.
And if you enjoyed this demo, both on the Eventbrite site where you bought your tickets, as well as on southsidefamilyfarms.com, you can donate. And those donations, help us run education programs that help us get off the ground, get the CSA going, get community outreach. So we would really appreciate anything that you could donate there. Thank you.
Yes. All right. All right. Well, it's good to see everyone.
It
And
really
Thank you.
enjoy your beet. I mean, enjoy your turnips.
All
Yeah.
right, thank
I'm getting
you.
mine washed off, and I'm going to have mine this evening also.
Sounds good. Thank
Take
you,
care.
everyone. See you next
Bye.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.